What is up, my retro F1 gangsters? I hope you're all doing well. It's Monday again, unfortunately, but don't let that get you down because we're here to hang out and play some Grand Prix World. It's been a while since we had a bit of a one-to-one here because I've been doing a lot of cooperative stuff recently and I've not had as much time as usual. I do apologise for the lack of time. Hopefully you're enjoying the cooperative stuff with Current over on Stellaris, and even if you're not, just head over there and leave a comment and you can win yourself a copy of the game, which is awesome, by the way. Really, really, really good. And the DLC will only make it better, I'm sure. That's kind of how Crusader Kings 2 went. Anyhow, last time out, we put our new arrows onto the track at Australia. Came away with a win for Pedro Diniz, but a DNF for Giancarlo Fisichella. We know we have some problems, and we are on the cusp of a very long and very expensive development program to try and make sure we retain our titles for a third season in a row. I don't really know what to make of our car so far. I know we picked up a win. Make sure that's a sentence. We did indeed pick up that win, but there was quite high attrition in the race, and we don't really know how Fisichella fit into that. I'm very, very happy that Diniz did pick up those 10 points. They are important, but it seems that McLaren are going to be snapping at our heels once again. The overall relative positions of the teams took us by surprise. Particularly, well, it took me by surprise at least. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but it didn't look how I expected, and that goes for both qualifying and the race. I am loath to make too many projections based on that, just as with our own performance. But we could be in for a very interesting season, and there could be a lot of shiftying about going on. While we're talking about shiftying about, we're still going to try and get ourselves a level 4 factory this season, if at all possible. It does depend very much on how our budget for next year looks, and we've got a lot of cash sponsors to woo and endear ourselves to. Let's get on with it. I'm going to pause fuel testing just for the moment because tyres do have a much bigger influence. It is basically a tyre formula, so we're going to put most of our attention onto engines and tyres at this point. We know we've got a major deficiency in the engine in reliability. It's a little bit better with our Evo 2, but it's still just above halfway. We've got a heat intolerance problem as well, and the engine is very, very heavy. So we're going to be developing that as quickly as humanly possible. That means giving it its fair share of mechanics, fair share of driver attention. I'm going to run this very expensive testing session now. Yeah, 500,000 again. Over the course of a season, that really does rack up. But we've also been able to unlock some information about our car. Let's take a look at that. Wow. Okay, I don't know what's got us that win, but our car has 60% handling, or at least, 60% of its potential. That means we've got a hell of a long way to go. We're going to be developing a new front wing to deal with slow corners. Again, we're not going to benefit from that necessarily in the near future, but we'll do what we can. I'm going to drop guys away from the driver aids and away from technology. I'm kind of reluctant to take too many people away from the 2005 car, so we're going to dump 40% of our designers onto this problem. We need to get this out ASAP because I do not like that number at all. I don't know what went wrong in the design office. I felt we were on top of our design all season, but that number is embarrassingly low for a team of our stature. Admittedly, our size is relatively small. I do appreciate that, but that is an unacceptable figure for us. We can't allow that to happen. Right. We also need that factory upgrade to stop this happening. We're losing points unnecessarily. Alright, we have 4 points to spend. I'm going to drop 1 onto weight, 2 onto reliability, and 1 onto heat. And that at least gets us going in the right direction. Our wet weather tyre needs some serious affection, and that's what we're going to be doing. Oof, it's a hard call. I'm going to go for that. Still not really acceptable. The hard tyre is absolutely atrocious, and I also want to work on that as well, but one thing at a time. I've gone for the wet weather. You may be wondering, why am I not going for the hard tyre given that we use it more often? And that's because both cars can run relatively happily on the soft tyre. We may not get all the advantages that are there for the taking, but that's just the nature of the tyre wars at the time. The intermediate holds up fairly well, so I'm going to try and avoid worrying about that too much at this stage. But the wets, even though it's arguably the least used tyre across the season, it is at least going to be in use on both cars at the same time, which kind of gives it priority at this stage. I'm still sad about the fuel numbers. I still think we made the right choice sticking with Mobile 1. It does appear to be the best fuel for us, but a lot of development work still to do. So I'm going to build some more spare parts, repair the cars, and then we'll take a look at the sponsor situation, see what's going down there. I forgot to check if all our heads of department are staying on. I'm pretty sure they are, but you never know, you can get caught out. Yeah, Rob Armstrong's leaving. Good job we noticed that one. Is Ian Phillips on a lower commission? He sure is. I don't care that he's more expensive. Ideally, I want a 2-season deal out of him. God damn it. Okay, we'll come back. We've got a designer for next season. We need a new head of construction. Adrian Newey is 19 million. I just know. Just no. John Barnard has gone backwards quite significantly. That's interesting. We've got a lot of options to play around with here. Ross Brawn is 3 million. Our own Gary Anderson is going to be over 1.5. Patrick Head is 9.6. Leo Ress is 1 million. Pat Simmons 5 million. That is interesting. I'm going to keep Anderson because he's got an affinity with Giancarlo Fisichella. He's also best placed to gain points compared to the others, so let's see if he'll take that. Okay, we'll try and offer him a better bonus next round. Our chief mechanic, who still loves Pedro Diniz and who doesn't, is here till 2005. Good job we checked that. We didn't get anybody, but at least we made some offers. I could go for Rob Armstrong, but the problem is that he was going to want more commission, and I'm just not happy about that. Maybe we can dazzle him with a big pay increase, but yeah, it's not the end of the world. I just paying more than 5% commission, I just think unnecessarily hampers the team. I just don't see the benefit for us. Having a 5-star commercial chief is of course good, but it's not. It doesn't break your championship campaign, and I kind of refuse to be held to ransom by them. We have some damage on Fisichella's car. Hopefully we don't have a curse of chassis 1 again. That would be unfortunate. I'm going to waffle while we're repairing the cars. Weather here has been crazy town. It's been like 27 degrees. I am not built for that temperature. I don't function well at that temperature. And then the thunderstorms are crazy. I mean, coming from Britain, where our thunderstorms are mild, I mean, we occasionally have a good one, but they're nothing like what you get on the continent. I do enjoy a good thunderstorm. It does liven up the workday, I'll be honest with you, but yeah, it gives you a... You know when you get that headache between hot weather and like really heavy storms? I've been getting that a lot, so it's probably why my presentation on this video has gone out of the window. Hopefully you'll forgive me. Then again, you've probably been used to subpar performances if you've stuck around this long. Right, we have a deal with Playlife in place. We have a deal with Ford in place. We're still working on a 2-season deal. That makes me a little bit happier with Goodyear. Fuel we've already got, and how are things going here? Only 1-season deals from Castrol and Danker. PIAA are offering decent cash monies again, but only for 1 season. I'm going to go for Goodyear. And what I'm going to do is drop... Who's the least paying? They're both the same. I'm going to drop Castrol for PIAA because they have been a long time backer for the team. I'm still annoyed that we don't have 2-season deals coming out of this, because don't forget that next season we have contracts to renegotiate again in some of the key areas, and having to do that while renegotiating all our cash sponsors puts us at a disadvantage. So I will be chasing some 2-year deals if I can get any. I'm really surprised PIAA haven't stepped up in that regard, but I'm not going to criticise them too harshly given that they've basically propped up the team for a large amount of its existence under our control. So we've sorted our sponsor situation. The car's 50% covered, which I'm fine about. Everything is repaired. I think we're good to go, and hopefully nobody steals Gary Anderson or one of the 5-star commercial directors. Going for the key attributes again because, Brazil. It can't decide if it's going to rain or be sunny here, so I might just focus on the performance attributes and hope for the best. Might not give us the best result, but we'll see what we get out. We will be going for Evo 2 of everything. I don't think this engine's particularly well suited to Brazil, so hopefully we make it through to the end. I'm not going to turn down the aggressiveness of the drivers. It does suck when we get early DNFs, but we've seen in the past we can recover our season towards the end, sometimes surprising even ourselves, so hopefully we don't drop too many points. But I just like to monitor what the potential of the car is. We have discovered active suspension, which we're going to complain about because we can. It's been a while since I've interacted with the people who've been leaving comments. I will get through to all of you. I make it my personal mission to reply to and thank people who comment, whether it's criticism or something positive. I absolutely love that so many people seem to be enjoying what's going on, as a relative percentage of the viewer number, and I will get back to you. So if you haven't heard back from me, you will get something from me, whether that be on Twitter, whether that's by email, or whether that's by commenting on one of the videos. I did see someone suggested I replay this game once we're finished with a mod for one of the more up-to-date seasons. I would definitely be open to that. What makes me a little bit nervous is that I've found a patch to get this game working on Windows 7, and for the life of me, because people keep asking how I'm getting it to run, for the life of me I cannot find where that patch is now. I don't know if the forums that link to it have disappeared. I wasn't a subscriber of the forums, I just stumbled across it. So of course I didn't really make a note of where I got it from. So I'm worried that modding the game could break it and then reinstalling it could make it unplayable because I don't have the patch. I will double down and have a look and see if I can't find the original zip file with the patched version of the game. And if I can find it, I will distribute it to anyone who wants it. Obviously, you still need a legit copy of the game, or I don't know, a torrented version, ahoy mateys. But I can send you the modded exe file, and you guys can have a bit of fun with this game as well. Also, Elias, big time buddy of the channel since pretty much day one. Thanks to you, sir, for sending me a link to a video for a motorsport management game that's coming up, and I think it's definitely on the radar for a playthrough. I know you guys, it's difficult. I think there tends to be a more motorsport focused viewership, and a bit of strategy tone in there as well. I will need to do more games like Grand Prix World, and I think I've kind of messed myself up a little bit because what I should have done really is perhaps played through the EA F1 Manager games, tried to suffer through the more recent Race Team Manager games without gouging my eyes out with a spoon, and then come to this. But the problem is that this is, in my opinion, the best F1 management game that has ever been made, period. And going to anything else is just eminently less watchable. EA F1 Manager game kind of redeems itself with sort of the 3D in-engine playthrough, so the races are much more entertaining to watch and a lot more happens, but it's still old and it looks boxy and crappy now, and my recording software doesn't want to capture it anyway. But the game itself is so shallow, whereas this has got a lot of depth to the technical side. The EA game has much more depth to the car setup side, which is boring as all balls to watch, because basically you send the car out for a lap, bring it in, the driver tells you something vague, and then the chief engineer says something like, yeah, try raising the front wing 5%. You send him out again, comes back, same feedback, another 5%. If you guys want to watch that, I'm happy to do it for you, you know, given that we're such big time buddies, but I just don't consider it particularly watchable. So hopefully, if I keep whinging about it enough, the stars align and a new game of this caliber comes out. I'd make it myself if I had the skill or the money, or ideally both. Anyway, enough complaining. Let's see how we get on in light rain. Generally that favours Deniz, but Fisichella's got some skills as well. Hopefully we get a decent qualifying position out of this, but again we've got a car that doesn't qualify well, which is kind of in line with our history. Let's see what happens. Well, it is an improvement. Amazing lap for Shinji Nakano, putting his Benetton on pole. That is phenomenal. Second goes to Jean Lacey in the Sauber, 123.377. Third goes to Michael Schumacher, the Rainmaster, in his Jordan, 123.426. Fisichella out-qualifies Deniz by a very narrow margin, less than a tenth. Alexander Wurz in his Ferrari rounds off the top 6. Irvine puts his Williams 7th. Mika Hakkinen takes 8th from McLaren. Johnny Herbert puts his Williams 9th, and David Coulthard puts his Benetton 10th. That's a very interesting result. I'm surprised Coulthard is so far down. What we learned from this, though, is that I'd say the Arrows is actually the best car in the wet. Now, we didn't get pole, so why am I saying that? Well, first of all, Shinji Nakano is nowhere near the caliber of either of our drivers. That's the first thing I would say. Secondly, Jean Lacey and Michael Schumacher are both incredible drivers. Very, very talented. Both are particularly good in the wet. And yes, they have out-qualified us, but not by a huge amount, and their teammates are languishing down in 12th and 13th respectively. So that shows you it's the driver rather than the car. What we've done is put both cars 4th and 5th. We're the only cars to qualify concurrently, which means both drivers were getting, for the relative aggressiveness level that we set, are getting the most out of the car. So, if that's what the car's got to give, and we accept we've got, you know, Fisichella's probably, you know, top 10%, but generally we've got middle-of-the-road drivers, we probably have the best car in the wet. And that fills me with confidence for the race, assuming that we finish, because, as we know, our car is generally faster in race conditions than it is in qualifying, assuming the track doesn't dry up. What it does also show is that the silly season continues, and that the running is really, really messed up. We had 3 drivers fail to qualify: Esteban Tueros, Prost, Marini's Prost, and Emmanuel Collard's Stewart all failed to qualify. Jan Magnussen's bottom of the pile in 19th in his Stewart, so that's a car that doesn't like the rain whatsoever. Bad day at the office for Celso Moreira. The Tyrrells continue to basically prop up the pack, and Minardi have certainly gone backwards, but given their driver lineup, I'm not particularly surprised, although I still think Toru Takagi was a hell of a good signing for them. Mika Salo disappointing in the Sauber. He's been on a bit of a recovery the last few seasons, been doing quite well. This is the first time in a while he hasn't qualified in the top 10. I'm assuming that's down to the rain rather than him or the car, but yeah, who even knows? Speaking of rain, it's just started absolutely throwing it down. If I get distracted any more than I already am, it's because there's a sweet thunderstorm outside. 27 degrees and cloudy, that means no rain to flatter our performance. We will be 2-stopping both cars because, yeah, I just don't have confidence in the tyres at the moment to last the race distance. Wow, that was some serious lightning. I just realised I said that, like, you guys can see what's going on. I'd get a webcam, but I'm an ugly bastard. No one wants to see that. Right. I think that's set up. I think we've got enough to finish the race there. Yeah, looking good, looking good. Are they both stopping on? No, they're not. Right, shut up, Ben. That's the music we wanted to hear. Giancarlo Fisichella takes the win ahead of teammate Pedro Diniz. 5 seconds-ish split them. That's pretty good from Diniz, to be honest, given on paper how much better Fisichella is. I'm glad to see Diniz on a return to form because I really didn't want to have to fire him, and it was on the horizon. Michael Schumacher scores a strong third for Jordan. Alexander Wurz, fourth for Ferrari. Fifth goes to Johnny Newhouse's McLaren, and a hell of a recovery drive puts Celso Moriera's Ferrari in sixth for the final points-paying position. Johnny Herbert goes forward in his Williams for seventh. Shinji Nakano has a bit of a dreadful race there, finishing one lap down in eighth for Benetton. Still outperforming his teammate though. Juan Pablo Montoya puts a second Jordan ninth, and the top 10 is rounded out by Monsieur Jean Alesi in his Bridgestone Shod Sauber, again one lap down. Failures to finish, Mika Häkkinen's McLaren out due to driver error. Brake failure on both Tyrrells, that's particularly interesting. And Mika Salo's Sauber also out of the running there. Sad day for him. Pedro Diniz, top of the Drivers' Championship on 16 points, joint second are Michael Schumacher and Giancarlo Fisichella. I'm happy with that as a season opener, not too shabby. And we lead the Constructors' Championship ahead of Jordan, surprisingly. I wonder if Jordan are actually, once we take qualifying out of it, and wow, this storm is getting serious. If we take qualifying out of it and just look at it across, the attrition of a race distance, I wonder if we're going to see a repeat of a few seasons back when it was a really close showdown between ourselves and Jordan kind of outdeveloped themselves and crashed down to earth. I think this is going to be a particularly interesting season. Right, let's see if people have signed with other people and shattered our plans. No, Ian Phillips is available, only on a one-season deal, but we'll take it. Mainly to save on the commission, because I'm a petty individual. Gary Anderson didn't sign with somebody else. That's good news. We want to keep him. Boom, there we go. And that gives us extra incentive now to keep both our drivers, because given that people are forming attachments to them, that really does help us out. Next season is the final season of Fisichella's contract. I think it's a no-brainer to retain him, assuming no one more skilled and cheaper comes up, because I still resent paying $5 million for him. I think that's a little bit too much. He has won championships, but I'll be honest, it's down to the cars. It is down to the car. Sorry, Giancarlo. Let's see what's going on in the world of news. You know what that is, and you know what all that is. Stefan Serrazan has agreed a deal to race for Tyrrell. Williams will be poaching Michael Schumacher from Jordan. Fisichella got the fastest lap there. Excellent race starts from both the Stewarts, both the Ferraris as well. Rob Armstrong had long discussions with Jordan. Did we re-sign? No, we didn't. We signed a replacement for him though, so that's fine. Screw him. And the most ineffective manager was Dave Richards. Unlucky there, Dave. Oh, I wonder if you heard that. That was some significantly loud thunderstorm noise there. For dramatic effect as we develop our car. We're into the CFD simulation phase for the new front wing. That is a momentous occasion for all of us. I'd smash a champagne bottle, but I don't have that kind of money. We'll move on to improving the performance of our hydraulics. And as always, we've got some serious testing to do. Something I noticed just now that has worried me significantly is the wear level on both cars after that race. That is a lot of wear. That tells me another deficiency of the car, to be honest. 1 sec, I'm going to save the game. Welcome back, and where were we? Testing program, that's right. So, we are going to restore fuel testing and Forschung testing because we can. I'm going to drop that to 5% actually. It feels a bit excessive otherwise. Yeah, I think that's good. we're going to do the maximum number again. It's not quite 500,000, it's 350,000. I will take it. Oh, so close. Right. So we need to... Wow, I'm not happy about that. 2 points indeed. We're going to continue with the 1-1 split there, though. Right, wet tyres or hard compound? I think we'll go for the wets. Solve one problem at a time. Let's do that, and at least we've got, you know, an above average wet weather tyre. On the engine front, we're finally starting to make progress. I'm going to reduce the weight by 2. I'm going to improve the heat tolerance by 2, and when I smash that together, it makes me happy. Let's improve our hydraulic performance. All the design stuff is done, so we just need to repair the cars and hit Sponsor Town for another party. Oh, that was it. I was going to talk to you about why I've not been making so many videos recently. Well, as you probably recall, those of you who've been around a while, the company I work for in my regular day-to-day grind got bought out at the end of last year, and sort of the merger's been ongoing, and you know, we all relocated and everything, and it's working out quite well, to be fair, but I am a lot busier than I was, and I was busy before. So between that, which, you know, you're talking a good 45 plus hours a week, which doesn't sound a lot for some of you who probably are workaholics and put in 60 hours or whatever, but that's the situation I would be in were it not for the fact that I also study. I do a distance study university course. So 45 hours is 5 more hours than I'm paid for, and it's still a lot when I've got to juggle, you know, personal relationships, home life, cleaning my apartment, which seems like a never-ending job, hanging out with you guys, which is just among my favourite things to do, and doing my uni course. I also have a practice room for drumming, so I try and find an hour a week to go down and play the drums, but that's probably going to be the first casualty, I think. Okay, sponsors. Wow, we made good progress on that 2-season works deal. I'm guessing their options are pretty thin on the ground. I'm going to spend this success card on PIAA because I don't want them to run away, and I think we've got this tyre deal in the bag. It's only round 3, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Nothing to sign though, no new negotiations to begin, so we won't worry about that too much. Cars are repaired, we've ordered new specifications of everything, we've got a full rack of spare parts, which is always good, and we have signed the new heads of department that we needed, or retained the ones that we like enough. I'm not going to change anything about how the drivers drive, no point messing with a winning formula. Here we're getting some clearer signals. I'm going to do this and hope for the best. Evo 3 Ford engine and a Generation 2 wet weather tyre. Again, unlikely to use it, I suspect, but you never know. You're looking a... I was going to say looking a bingo. That is the most depressing analogy I could possibly have made. That is outrageous. You never know you're looking a... What is the phrase? Never know you're looking in a raffle? That's even worse. That's so parochial. Guys, I will get my analogies in order for the next episode. I'm just a constant disappointment. Right. Is everything set up? I don't even know anymore. I'm talking about raffles. Yeah, that looks good. Let's dance. 24 degrees and light rain. That makes me pleased. Makes me also wish I'd put some points into the intermediate tyre to kind of boost that advantage, but hopefully we have another strong performance in quali. Yeah, why not? Not too bad, not too bad. Michael Schumacher takes the pole for Jordan on the 1:31.215. Alex Wurz puts his Ferrari second to 1:31.249. Jean Alesi again in Sauber out-qualifies us, so Wurz really is the big shake-up there. Nakano out-qualifies us again, but only one of us. He splits Fisichella and Deniz, and again the gap is reasonably small, about 2.5 tenths between Fisichella and Deniz in the top 6 there. Hakkinen 7th, Eddie Irvine's Williams 8th, Mika Salo's Sauber 9th, a return to the top 10 for him, and again David Coulthard and McLarens do not like wet weather. I'm feeling pretty good about this. We're half a second off Schumacher. If the track dries up, I'm guessing we should be able to claw that back. Failing that, we'll finish potentially on the podium, assuming we don't get a DNF. I just feel it's possible. Both Prosts and Emmanuel Collard again failed to qualify. The Prosts do not like the rain. Perhaps they are water soluble. Stark wind, 19. Stark wind. It's pronounced Stark first of all, and it means strong. Okay, it's cloudy, 19 degrees. That is acceptable, I suppose. Both cars are set up correctly. We're back onto dry weather tyres, of course. So we'll see how we do. Fingers crossed, everybody. Hopefully we hear the good music. But I'll settle for one of the cars on the podium. We might end up with a double DNF for all I know, having talked it up now. But I think the potential's there for some solid points, if not a win. Let's see if the game shits all over our dreams. No, it doesn't. Oh, Pedro Diniz takes the win, a 1:48.42.372. That is a surprise. Alexander Wurz, also a surprise, in second for Ferrari, 1:49.045.06. Giancarlo Fisichella takes third, the final podium position for us on a 1:49.18. That's a hell of a gap, actually, between Diniz and Fisichella, so hell of a drive from Diniz there. Moriera in the Ferrari takes fourth. Irvine and Newhouse round off the top 6 for all the points-paying positions. We had some help. I don't think we necessarily would have got such a strong result there, were it not for the fact that Schumacher had an electronic failure. Accidents took out Juan Pablo Montoya's Jordan and Jan Magnussen's Stewart. Hydraulic failure hit both Benettons. That's cause for concern. Johnny Hibbert's Williams had a suspension failure. Electronic failure took out Ricardo Rossett's Tyrrell as well. And everyone finished on the same lap, save for Mika Salo Sauber. I don't think that's happened yet. Even the Minardis finished on the same lap as a leader. That's encouraging. That shows you how close the field is this season and how messed up it's become. However, what isn't messed up is our plans. Pedro Diniz now sits pretty in pole position on the Drivers' Championship on 26 points, ahead of teammate Giancarlo Fisichella. I think we'd all love to see a Diniz Championship this season, and I'm glad that both our drivers are bringing in the points, because that helps us get this result. We sit number 1 top dog in the Constructors' Championship on 40 points, ahead of our nearest rival Jordan, who are on 14. 1 point behind them are Ferrari in third. That's a very, very, very strong start. Very strong indeed. We're very close to the PIAA deal, which is good news all round, and we can sign the works deal with Goodyear. Sweet. Okay, guys, I'm not going to waffle on any longer, because I don't like to draw these episodes out any longer than necessary, given that my stats show if I make a 45-minute episode, like 80% of you stop watching after about 25 minutes. So with that in mind, goodbye to people who left in the past. You're not here to hear this, it doesn't matter. For the rest of you, I hope you've had a great start to the week and the weekend was good. Hopefully, I'll get another episode out to you on Wednesday. Also, don't forget that there'll be some multiplayer Stellaris coming up with Current, and you still have a day and a half by the time this video goes up to enter our competition to win a copy of Stellaris. All you got to do is head over to one of the Stellaris multiplayer episodes. I'd go for episode 7. I don't pick the winner, Current does. So I'm guessing maybe he's only looking at the episode where we announced the giveaway. If I speak to him beforehand, I'll ask him to go through comments on the other episodes as well, so that might boost your chances. But I can't guarantee anything. So to be safe, comment on episode 7 of the Stellaris multiplayer with Current, and we might get the pleasure of sending you a Steam key for Stellaris, which is pretty damn awesome, if I do say so myself. Right, you guys take care, and I will talk to you on Wednesday. Have a good one.